place to conduct the abhyasa only. So that is our thought process. If somebody wants to comment on that, we can discuss in terms of student engagement and student retention. Any other thoughts, any other ideas? Sorry, I didn't start recording.
Yeah, I think student retention and engagement is a universal challenge actually. So not very uncommon. I think what you said makes a lot of sense, is to have 2 tutorials a week, because student engagement is more important, because student engagement eventually will lead to student retention. So now whether only tutorial is the way forward is something that we will have to see, because what motivation each student has to be in touch with Sanskrit actually varies from person to person. So if of course we will not be able to cater to all those motivations, but if we can generally see as to what is the inclination of the class or the students, what are they getting attracted to, and then we can have a small correction as the course moves on. Not a major shift, but a small correction, depending on what they like, what they are looking forward to. I think that is something we should have that room for play, basically.
महोदय तत्र स्टूडेंट एंगेजमेंट इति तत्र एव that is a magic bullet, as they say.
Yes.
तत्र यः शिक्षकैः सह छात्रैः सह प्रवृत्ति परस्पर प्रवृत्तिं करोति, mutually engaging, keeping them on their toes iti asti, and constantly engaging and seeing what is coming next, so that that enthusiasm utsaha sarvada bhavati iti. So that is a challenge, Mahodaya. You have to help the teachers. See, सर्वेभ्यः तत्र सर्वे तत्र सन्दीप महोदय आगतवान्. सः अस्मिन् विषये बहु उत्तमरीत्या पाठनं करोति. तत्र पश्यतु, सस्यं कक्षायां सस्यं प्रथमस्तरे ये सम्भाषणम् इति न जानन्ति, कर्तुम् इच्छामि किन्तु किं वदामि अहम् इति येषां ये सन्ति, तत्र पश्यतु, प्रथमवर्गे भवतः नाम किम् इति वदामः. भवतः नाम किं? मम नाम जयकुमारः इति उक्त्वा सर्वे जनाः तत्र प्रश्नं पृच्छन्ति, सर्वे जनाः उत्तरमपि ददति खलु. सर्वे, everybody gets a chance. Constant it is, because it's like one sentence and everybody speaks. And simply kim bhavati. Then first year passes, anantaram dvitiya varshe parichaya asti, lata asti, tatra little sandhi. Then the teacher begins talking more and more, and then slides, and then this, that. So engagement reduces. Then the tritiya varshe, malati, aha, samasaha, vyanjana sandhi, ityadi. Talking, slides. Where is the interaction? And everybody is writing notes. Sarve likhanti eva. Puram tu kopi na likhati eva. Sarve sambhashanam karvanti. Tasyam kakshayam. Kintu yadi stara parivartane tatra slowly engagement reduces. I'm saying the challenge is, that teacher of Malati, that teacher of Kamalam, okay, how is he or she able to challenge the students? Every 5 minutes, okay, I finished this thing. Now you talk about samasa. Or Tatpurusha samasa iti aham uktaman. Panchanimishani uktaman. I given you 5 examples. You can repeat the examples. Oh, Pitambaraha, Bahuvrihi, okay, Dasharatha Putraha, Shashti Tatpurusha. You give any example. Or you can just repeat whatever I say. You repeat, just look at the notes and repeat whatever it is. Something. Kimapi karaniyam boho. What do you do?
तत्तु अस्ति एव. यदा तत्र दर्शिकाः सन्ति, स्लैड्स् सन्ति, तत्र अस्माकं सम्बन्धः न्यूनः भवति. तत्तु अस्ति एव. अतः वस्तुतः आभासी माध्यमेन यत् वयं पाठयामः तस्य प्रभावः एव न्यूनः भवति। साक्षात् यदि वयं पाठयामः तस्य प्रभावः भिन्नः भवति इति अस्ति एव. That is the challenge. Offline online, that is the challenge. Because if the teacher, as you very correctly pointed out, if the teacher speaks for a long time, the student definitely tends to get fatigued. He just tends to disconnect. That is very true. So that is a challenge. I think what you pointed out correctly, we should probably look at how the teacher can then make the student speak much more than what he is doing now, he or she is doing now. That is one way to go. I mean, we could just ask him, what did you understand? Can you tell me Bahubri in your own words? Let's do it. I mean, there's no one answer to this, sir. I mean, but this is how we'll have to do probably.
अस्माकं मध्ये कांश्चन अथवा केचन प्रथमवारं पाठयामः. यथा रीता भगिनी, भवती पाठितवती वा पूर्वं? न पाठितवती.
प्रथम
संस्कृतं तु प्रथमवारं भवती पाठयितुं सिद्धा अस्ति. अस्तु, अन्यानि वर्गाणि, अन्यानि विषयानि किमपि पाठितवती वा पूर्वं?
न महोदय, कदापि न.
भवती पूर्वं शिक्षिका एव न आसीत् खलु? उत्साहम् अस्ति, संस्कृतभाषां प्रति रुचिः अस्ति, अभिरुचिः अस्ति. यदि अहं पाठयामि तदा एव अहमपि मम ज्ञानमपि वर्धते इति चिन्तयित्वा भवती अत्र आगत्य पाठयितुम् इच्छति खलु? तत् पश्यतु, अत्र केचन नूतनशिक्षकाः सन्ति, अन्ये अपि प्रायः सन्ति ये कानिचन वर्षाणि पाठितवन्तः खलु? So some experience is there for some people. Some people have zero experience teaching. And now we have this common challenge. Even the experienced teachers are going to be challenged engaging students in the class. They have to engage, constantly engage. So, see, that's the one thing, disadvantage of slides. Slides are very convenient for the teacher. It's all there, keep on reading. Agre gachamaha, keep on reading. Agre gachamaha, keep on reading. Oh, dangerous. That's why our retention is very poor. Narayan Mahodaya, you all can disagree with me, please. Please disagree with me and tell me why I'm wrong. Rukmani ji, Hemavati.
I totally agree with you, Jaikumar ji. In Sasyam, at least I observed, the slides are so many. And if we don't complete the whole slides, the students tell, ma'am, you didn't say that, we didn't do that, we didn't do that. You know, and we are in a hurry to complete the slides, and we are not able to talk to the students and they have to reply. My suggestion to Sasyam course design is, see, after this Swara, Varna, all those classes, then when we start with actual Vibhakti, not actual Vibhakti, you know, this Grame, Nagare. So we should make each student to talk 3 sentences. Bhavataha namakim, bhavati katamasti, bhavan kutra vasati, agam samayaha, divasaha. When we have all this syllabus, each student get, that's what I used to tell in my class. You must make me 4 sentences and come and tell me. Agam bhanuvasare pratakale panchavadane पूजां कृतवती. भवती किं कृतवती? सोमवासरे आपणं गतवती या किं क्रीणति? So like that we should make them to open their mouth and speak, not watching the slides and homework. They rush it and finish it, and then they have, when they come to the class, they are just completed the assignment, but they don't have that knowledge what they have previously learned, that prayogam kartum na shaknuvanti.
मीरा, भवत्याः विचारः कः?
Rukmini ji did she did mention a very good point. अहमपि चिन्तितवती एतदेव करणीयम् इति. Thing is, slides will be overwhelming, but it can be kept as a reference to the teacher rather than checking it again, because we need to cover a certain set of syllabus when we are doing, because that also has to be kept in mind. So slides can be for teacher reference, and teacher can use more, innovative ways to get the students speak. So I don't think too many slides need to be projected in the class. That depends on the teacher.
Satyam.
I think in Sasyam, we can have more Subhashitas, stories, the students have interest in reading their stories, so they can pick up good vocabulary, which the story consists of so many activities. That activities and objects they can grasp in a story better, then they can connect with the slides and our
Satyam.
topics.
न केवलं सस्यं प्रथमस्तरे किन्तु तृतीयस्तरे अपि किमर्थं न करणीयं? यथा हेमावती भगिनी इदानीं पाठयति, मालती खलु, मालती वा मालती तत्र
suggestion na my experience aham बाल्यवयसि एव संस्कृतं पठितवती. संस्कृते सह सङ्गीतमपि पठितवती. आचार्यः एकः एव आसीत्. अतः मम मै प्राक्टिस् किमपि गीतं कीर्तनं वयं सः पाठितवान्. तस्य संस्कृत Padeshu, I used to take a lot of interest. Any Muthuswami Dikshadhar Kirtanam, they're full of Sanskrit words. So, because we were learning simultaneously, so I used to go and look at what Vibhakti, how he has used it. That type of an interest I developed as a very young girl. I mean, all my sisters, all of us, we used to do that. So I think teaching some shlokas or some subhashitam, something simultaneously, wherein what we are teaching, suppose I'm teaching Shatru Pratyaya, wherever those Shatru Pratyayas used, we pick up some 5, 6 and show them. Like that, something like that. And this slide business, I mean, it is as overwhelming for the students as overwhelming for the gurus also, because we have to go on showing it, and then that is this thing. But how to bring it into the class, I think I will know only if I start.
So one of the challenges is that the scope is very large. So the time duration, we run into a big crunch. So
Mahodaya, that's a very good point, and Rukminiji also mentioned it. We are pressured to finish. Suppose we say Sasyam is not going to be 1 year, it's going to be 2 years.
Yes. Currently, all our courses are 40 sessions.
I'm just saying, just brainstorming, just saying. Suppose I say you have no pressure to finish.
Absolutely.
And it is like saying, until my students master this basic sandhi that I'm teaching, I'm not going to move to the next subject at all. Suppose the teacher says that. What will happen? Tell me.
Actually, when we did Malati, we started in 2020 November. And we wrote the exam only in 2022 January. We had full about 14 months for that. And Kamalam was also more than 1.5 years, I think, Kamalam we did. Malati and Kamalam. We did much more than 1 year. I remember 2020 November we started Malti, and we were registered for the exam only for 2022 January. And then 2022 April or something we started Kamalam, and last year July only we wrote. It was more than a year, maybe more
Maybe
than
more,
whatever.
Yeah, one thing I just wanted to add here was about engagement. One thing that we have to understand is that the teacher has to be seen to be offering some value to the students. You know, the student should look up to the teacher and say, "Oh, I want to be like that. At least a fraction of that." At least that is what should run in their mind, and that is what will probably have that engagement. So here I want to mention that if, for example, as we all know, Sanskrit, spoken Sanskrit is the most difficult part, and that's the most challenging part across. So if we are able to, cross that obstacle, and for example, say we are doing 80% English and 20% Sanskrit. I'm just saying, I don't know what the numbers actually are. If we try to, we speak more Sanskrit and less of any other language, mainly English, that is what will attract the student, because then he will say, "Ai bho, एषः संस्कृतेन एव वदति, अहमपि वक्तुम् इच्छामि." Now what is it basically? If we are exam oriented, then it becomes just another class. It becomes like a formal education. This is not a formal education. Our aim should be that they should know the grammar, no question about it. They should know the language, but they should be able to speak the language. If this is what, if we shift it a little bit and say that, okay, I'm going to, in any case, for example, Rita Mohoday is going to teach Sasyam probably. So those people are rank outsiders. You should converse with them only in Sanskrit confidently. आत्मविश्वासेन वदतु, यतोहि ते संस्कृतं न जानन्ति. ते चिन्तयिष्यन्ति, अयि भो, रीता महोदय अस्ति, अस्माकं शिक्षिका महोदय अस्ति, सम्यक् वदति, वयमपि तादृशं संस्कृतं वक्तुम् इच्छामः इति यदि भवति चेत् तत्र निश्चयेन ते सर्वे नियमित रूपेण आगमिष्यन्ति. मम एकम् अनुभवम् अहं संविभक्तुम् इच्छामि अत्र. I want to share a experience I had in my Sanskrit Bharati Shiksha Varga, which is the third level. At the beginning there were 60 students. When we completed the class, there were 43 students in the class. There was a very low drop of only 17 people, which was quite low as compared to the other Sanskrit Bharati offerings that we have online. And then when we did a survey, we found out that only because the teacher, that is me, was speaking only in Sanskrit all through, right from the first moment till the last moment, that is where the attraction happened. That is where they said, "Oh, I want to pick it up." And I can very, very modestly say just now that out of that Shiksha class, today we have more than 10 teachers who are teaching in Sanskrit. They got that confidence that we will also be able to do what our teacher is doing. And I was always encouraging, doshan kurvantu chinta nasti, dosha yuktam sanskritam vayam vadamah chinta nasti. Lajjam vina vadantu. So sankocham vina vadantu. So that is what probably turned the corner. And I think maybe we can take a leaf from here, try to implement. I'm not saying, we just completely topsitter with the whole thing. That is not what I'm trying to say here. Maybe we can take a little bit of clue and try to, implement that in our teaching, because this is an extremely good opportunity, especially for new teachers here, an extremely good opportunity to improve their Sanskrit. Believe me, once we start teaching, our spoken Sanskrit increases exponentially, not in gradations, but exponentially it increases. And
That's
this is my, yeah. अतः संस्कृतेन एव वयं वदामः, चिन्ता नास्ति. अत्रापि अहम् इतोपि किमपि वक्तुम् इच्छामि. संस्कृत भारत्याम् अपि बहवः ज्येष्ठकार्यकर्तारः सन्ति, येषां भाषायाम् अधुना अपि दोषाः सन्ति. अतः दोषरहितां भाषाम् इति प्रायशः केचन एव वदन्ति. कुत्रचित् दोषाः भवन्ति, तत्र वयम् उपेक्षां कुर्मः, चिन्ता नास्ति. यतोहि अस्माकं लक्ष्यमस्ति वयं संस्कृतं nirargalataya vadamos. Fluently we should be able to speak. There will be mistakes, there is no problem. The Chinese make mistakes, huge mistakes in English 10 15 years back. Today they are very good speakers, just like almost like Indians, and that is because they were simply shameless and they were just speaking whatever they wanted to speak. I think the same thing we can apply over here. So maybe this is probably what we can think about. Yeah, this is what. If the teacher is seeing as adding some value, that is where the attraction will hold, in my opinion.
सत्यं भोः, तत्र तु तत्त्वम् अस्ति. अस्माकं पूर्वम् अस्माकं वर्गेषु वयं अहमपि प्रयत्नं कृतवान्. सर्वदा संस्कृते एव अहमपि वक्तुं प्रयत्नं कृतवान्, अन्यान् अपि प्रेरयितुं प्रयत्नं कृतवान्. एवमेव करणीयम् इति मम अपि विचारः अस्ति. इदानीं शिक्षकेभ्यः कथं साहाय्यं कुर्मः वयम् इति चिन्तनीयं. कथं कुर्मः पीरियाडिकलि तत्र every 2 weeks or something. शिक्षकेभ्यः किमपि
what we can do, तत्र तेषां कृते वयम् अत्र विवक्षुगणं चालयामः. विवक्षुगणं नाम ये संस्कृतं वक्तुम् इच्छन्ति. It is like an elocution or basically a spoken kind of thing. So that is something we can run only for the teachers. But I want to mention one thing over here. Just being a teacher is not just looking at the Pravesh Pathyagram or Parichaya and just looking at the slide and teaching. The teacher has to put in more effort. He or she will have to read novels. He or she will have to listen to Varta, Samskrita Varta. That is when it's a complete package. We know the Subhashitam. Acharyat padamadatte padam sah patibhyah padam swamedhaya pada kala kramena. So everybody has his own portion allotted. So that swamedhaya, that self effort is going to be the key differentiator here. So we will have to be in that Sanskrit Vatavaran. We'll have to really have that fire in the belly to understand, no, this is what I want to do. And if we do that, we can organize, we can organize periodically some spoken Sanskrit kind of a thing. And we can do that. This is what we are already doing in Sanskrit Bharati. We looked at this challenge and this is what we are doing also currently. And it shows good benefits. Within 3 to 4 months, we have seen people speaking confidently. So this is also what we can replicate over here. I can help you with that, surely. Tram kartum shaknomi.
So तत्र अहं इदानीं 5 वर्षाणि पूर्वं यदा अहं पाठितवान्, how did I insist and force myself to speak? अहमपि किमपि निपुणः न आसं तदा. So तत्र practice. So इत्युक्ते तत्र preparation for the class. वर्गः तु एकस्मिन् सप्ताहे एकवारमेव भवति. So that's an advantage, is only 1 class per week. That's one good advantage, not 3 classes a week. So 3 classes a week means life is over. Especially you have to speak Sanskrit means it's gone. So 1 class, so I used to focus that 1 class. We prepare almost 1 day for that 1 hour class. So Kim Karaniyam iti. So the syllabus is there. किन्तु तत्र कथं पाठयामि एतत् कथं पाठयामि प्रथमा विभक्ति वा द्वितीया विभक्ति वा तत्र पुस्तकानि सन्ति इदानीं तु पुस्तकानि तु अनेकानि सन्ति तत्र कथम् एषा कथा अस्ति कथायाः पठनं करणीयं क्रमेण गच्छामः वा इत्यादि. So all the minute details I used to think about until it became natural. तत्र some words आङ्ग्लभाषायाम् आगच्छति इदानीं तस्य संस्कृतभाषायां तस्य रूपं किं तस्य नाम किम् इति शब्दः कः. So I used to write down all those things. So then I used to look up the dictionary. I have to know this because constantly I'm using it. So translate it to anuvadah. So if I don't know the Sanskrit word for translate, then I better find out. Did you understand? Understand means what? Every time teacher has to know these words. Some words is constantly coming out. So I used to write all these words. Did you understand? Avagachiti va. Something. There's some word we have to know. So I used to write down all this. So tatra पाठन अभ्यास. So the abhyasa that comes before the class is critical. And सद्य महोदय उक्तवान् तत्र वार्तां श्रोतुम् आवश्यकं. सो अत्र किं तत् भारत किम् आकाशवाणी आकाशवाणी अस्ति खलु.
आकाशवाणी अस्ति, अनन्तरं वार्तावल्ली अस्ति, अनन्तरं
वार्तावल्ली अस्ति.
रेडियो गार्डन् इति अस्माकं इंटर्नेट् रेडियो अस्ति
दूरदर्शनमपि
किल,
प्रचलति.
दूरदर्शने एव तत्र भवति वार्तावल्ली इति भवति.
वार्तावल्ली.
अनन्तरं
सुधर्मा
रेडियो गार्डन् इति अस्ति, तत्र वाहिनीद्वयम् अस्ति. संस्कृत भारती इति अस्ति. संस्कृत भारत्याः सह तस्य सम्बन्धः नास्ति, तस्याः वाहिन्याः. अनन्तरम् इतोपि एका अस्ति, किमस्ति, पुदुचेरीतः अस्ति, देववाणी वा किमपि अस्ति. तर्हि तत्र अपि आदिनं तत्र भवति, अहोरात्रं संस्कृतेन कार्यक्रमाः भवन्ति. बहूनि साधनानि सन्ति अधुना.
कुत्रापि कथायाः वदनं भवति वा?
कथायाः वदनमपि भवति.
कथाः वयम् इदानीं पञ्चतन्त्रकथा वा रामायणं वा महाभारतं वा किमपि तत्र 10 निमिषानि वा अर्धघण्टा श्रोतुम् इच्छामः चेत्
अत्र किं कर्तुं शक्नुमः, वयं स्वयं सर्वे वयं मिलित्वा कथां रचयामः. शिक्षकः एकं वाक्यं वदेत्, अनन्तरम् अनुक्रमेण छात्राः एकैकं वाक्यं वदेत्, कथा अग्रे अग्रे गच्छति. तत्र हासमपि जनयामः, अनन्तरं किमपि वयमेव योजयामः, तेन हासः उत्पद्यते. तेन बहु सम्यक् भवति महोदय. मम अनुभवः तु बहु उत्तमः अस्ति. बहु सत्यं. कुत्रचित् वने गुरुकुलम् अस्ति, व्याघ्रः आगच्छति, व्याघ्रः अपि संस्कृतं पठति, संस्कृतेन गर्जनं करोति, तादृशी कथा भवति. तर्हि तेन तेषां ग्रहणं सम्यक् भवति. Their ability to understand and retain becomes faster moment there is some laughter in the class. So maybe this is something we can, I'm sure all of you know that, but something that we can practice when we do the class, when we take the class.
महोदय किञ्चित् वक्तुमिच्छामि.
वदतु महोदय.
अहं किञ्चित् वक्तुमिच्छामि. अहं जानामि इदानीम् इति मम प्रथमा कक्षा अस्ति. सो किञ्चित् चिन्तयन् करिष्यामि. किमपि प्रिपरेशन् बिफोर् गोयिङ्ग् टु द क्लास् आवश्यकम् अस्ति. किमर्थं प्रिपरेशन्? सर्टन् यः स्लैड्स् अस्ति, तत् यः विषयाः तत्र सन्ति, अहं तान् विषयान् गृहीत्वा किञ्चित् संस्कृतेन सम्भाषणं pre-written script I will take with me before going to the class, and say 10 slides I have to cover. So all those 10 slides, per slides, what are the specific words that are to be mentioned in Samskritam along with the English translation, so that everybody understands. So what are the vishaya, those subjects that are covered? Maybe questioning where do you live and how, what is your life nowadays? Are you working, not working? All this I will prepare a script, and then I'll keep with me in my class, so that Sanskrit Sambhashanam is always there when I am teaching. So this is some sort of bhumika I had prepared with me. I was a little bit anxious to have those slides pre-hand to me, so that I can prepare my class well before entering into the class. This was the little preparation I wanted.
Are the slides in English or Sanskrit?
They are. अहं न जानामि महोदय.
न जानाति वा? किं करोतु भवती, यत् भवत्याः चिन्तनं योग्यमेव अस्ति. आदौ सर्वं लिखित्वा तत्र कक्षां कारयतु, चिन्ता नास्ति. परंतु
Instead of fumbling for the words at that
हाँ,
moment, I would prepare according to the slides entire script,
चिंता
and
नसते.
then I
करोतु.
would be more comfortable than
Yes.
speaking to the
सत्यं
students.
सत्यं सत्यं. तर्हि किं करोतु, यथा भवती परिचयम् इति उक्तवती, परिचयं स्वपरिचयम् आदौ लिखतु. मम नाम रीता, अहं कुत्रचित् निवसामि, यत्र कुत्र, मम लौकिकशिक्षणम् इति अस्ति, मम गृहे कति जनाः निवसन्ति, अहं किं पठितवती, नाम संस्कृतक्षेत्रे किं पठितवती, स्वकीयं परिचयं भवती आदौ लिखतु. मुखोद्गतं करोतु, चिन्ता नास्ति. अनन्तरम् आत्मविश्वासेन वदतु. ते अपि तानि पञ्चवाक्यानि वा षड्वाक्यानि ते अपि वदन्ति. तत्र केवलम् अहं दिल्लीनगर्यां वसामि इति अस्ति चेत् ते वदन्ति अहं नगर्यां वसामि, मम लौकिक अभियन्ता अस्ति वा वैद्यः अस्ति, किमपि. तर्हि यथा भवत्याः चिन्तनमस्ति योग्यमेव अस्ति, तथैव करोतु महोदय, योग्यमेव. निश्चयेन भवती कर्तुं शक्नोति अग्रे अपि.
प्रयत्नं करिष्यामि.
उत्तमं विचारं रीता महोदय.
एषः वस्तुतः भवत्याः कृते उत्तमः अवसरः अस्ति महोदय. यथा भवती यदा भवती सम्यक् संस्कृतं वक्तुम् इच्छति, यदि भवती सम्यक्, तर्हि एषः उत्तमः अवसरः भवत्याः कृते. You should thank Arsha Seva Kendram that they are giving you this platform.
कृतज्ञः अस्मि.
तर्हि बहु उत्तमः अस्ति अवसरः. तस्य नाम तत्र सम्यक् कार्यं करोतु.
मम अपि चिन्तनं तदेव आसीत्. यत्किञ्चित् वक्तव्यमस्ति कक्षायां पूर्वमेव सिद्धं कर्तुं, if I keep it in front, it becomes a little easier. And of course, actually, the slides showing, can we reduce that slides and we Kaksha is this thing itself, we can establish them, and in the class we just explain. Will it be better? Because slides are really
for that your subject knowledge has to be very good. For example, Mahodaya just now mentioned Vibhakti. They should not realize that they are learning Vibhakti.
Absolutely.
You cannot start the class saying Prathama Vibhakti. That is not the way to do. You are killing the subject. They should just smoothly glide into it and then realize, Eshaha Vibhakti asti va, ayyo. That is how it should be taught.
As Meera Mahoday said,
कथायाः माध्यमेन एव कर्तुं शक्यते.
कथा शक्यते, परन्तु तत्र यदा द्वितीया विभक्ति चिन्तयतु, द्वितीया विभक्ति पाठनीया इति अस्ति, तर्हि तत्र कथं पाठयामः? तत् पश्यतु, शिवः अस्ति, शिक्षकः अस्ति, शिक्षकः नमति, शिक्षकः शिवं नमति. तत्र शिवः शिवं, तत्र भेदः ज्ञापनीयः. That is how you begin. So kavitam pathati, kavita kavitam pathati, and that is how you glide into it. That anukshanam te api vadanti, kavyam pathati, lekham pathati, mantram pathati. That is how you, and then our preparation has to be there. For example, how many verbs are there for Dvitiya? Generally, svikaroti, pathati, pashyati, avayati, tadrushani kriyapadani santi, siddhani bhaveyuh kriyapadani. We can do the so that is how you glide into it. I think that is a skill which will come over time.
एकः श्लोकः अस्ति न, रामो राजमणि विराजते रामं, like that.
तेन किं भवति? वाक्यद्वयमेव भवति किल?
न तदेव we can ask them to. I mean, keeping that as the base.
So my telling here is, the teacher should have about 120 sentences written himself or herself, out of which when you teach maybe 50 will be here, and again when you are speaking maybe 25 will come out. But even 25 will appear one will appear as a teacher completely confident in command of what he or her she is teaching. So I think that is the preparation. That is how we should be doing it. So this is just vibhakti. It could be anything. It could be parichay. For example, purana pratyayantaha, sankhya, kimapi va bhavatu, chinta nasti. So once you do this upasthapanam, once you do this presentation, and then you get the slide in, it will have a lot of value.
Ah,
If you start with the slide, it is going to kill the subject.
oui.
So this is where I think we have to be the differentiator.
Yes.
This is where we have to do. You take any, whether it is Pravesh, Parichaya, Shiksha, Covid, whatever it is, not a problem at all. For example, you are teaching Tva Pratyay. So you have to give 2 sentences. You have to explain Ramah Patashalam Gacchati, Ramah Samskritam Pathati. Ramah Patashalam Gatva Samskritam Pathati. So this is the Upasthapanam. This is your Atra Vishayam Mandayamaha. Tva Pratyay asti. So the idea here is that the first Kriya is finished and the second Kriya is going on or has happened, whatever it is. But the important point is first Kriya is finished.
Over.
So this is how we have to, get into the subject. For that, our understanding of the subject has to be crystal clear. Only then can you, and for that, as both of you said, preparation is paramount. I mean, there is no substitution to preparation. There is simply no substitute to that. So if we can do that, I think then I think a lot of that retention and engagement can probably, of course, I'm telling you, this is not the bullet solution, because in spite of this, there are instances where people just simply, for no rhyme or reason, they will simply drop it. So I think we have to live with that. But at least we make the best effort to retain them. That is what we should do.
At
So
least we
Mahoday,
go.
slides are for the teachers' help, not for the students.
Yeah.
Totally. They are for the teachers' help. So
And
they may
for
be
the
kept
students,
aside.
yes, for abhyasa, where you get the abhyasa done from them, that is where the slide will be useful.
Yes.
Or
So
if
that
the
is
teacher
why.
is really competent, then the teacher can give 2 sentences, they will do the Tva Pratyay and join it. That is how it is. So, I mean,
So we can
yeah.
finish the lesson and then tell them to go into that because the link is given to them, for that thing, Google this thing. Then we can establish the slides there and then ask them to look at it after we finish
Right.
the class, rather than showing it in the class.
Correct.
Whether that will work,
Maybe,
I do not.
yeah.
So one feedback I got from my previous student last batch was, why don't you give us the slides in advance? We'll study and come. Though it may not happen, but that was whether study and come is a $1 million question. But that was one of the feedback they said, if you can give us the slides in advance, we are mentally prepared to see what is coming on the screen.
In fact,
That
I
probably,
was thinking on that
See,
line.
that probably means that too many slides were shown and I did not understand a lot of those slides. So maybe I have to prepare before. That could be a problem too. Otherwise, they will say, okay, give the slides after the class, so it'll be good. So that question also could have come. So we don't know, Mahodaya, why that question came. No? We don't know why the question came. So, but anyway, so Mahodaya, Sundaresh Mahodaya tatra agatavan. Kadamasti Bhavan.
Namaste, Namah Sarvebhyah, Mahodaya. Namaste, Guruji. I've been here for a while and I listened to all the points mentioned by everybody. I think it's, all of you, I think, mentioned very good points. I think one of the main things that I have done in Lahari 1 and Lahari 2, where I've retained almost 100%. In fact, for the Lahari 2, I had to say no to, because I don't like to take more than 15 people in a class, because I give them personal attention. Point number 1. Point number 2, I will not use slides. Okay, I talk because almost everybody who comes to these classes, they would like to converse in Sanskrit as quickly as possible. That's a human nature. But I talk a lot about the psychology of why it is not possible to speak Sanskrit because of so many factors. We have not grown with Sanskrit in our environment. So the effort that each one of us have to put will be enormous in order to retain the day-to-day words of speaking. And one of the most important aspect is that we have to start thinking in Sanskrit. And how do we do? Only when we know how to think in Sanskrit, these words will automatically come, like reflex action. For example, we grow up with Hindi, Kannada, Tamil. Even though we don't know all other languages, just because of the osmosis, we get to know some of these words. But that's not the case with Sanskrit. We are making a very special effort at a very late point in our lives to learn Sanskrit. and everybody's passion is to learn Sanskrit just quickly, right? So I talk a lot about the different methods that I have been using in order to become very familiar with the simple sentences, and that those sentences should be part of our bloodstream. That means it should be part of our thinking process. That's point number one. And point number two is I do a lot of quizzes. Every third class, I give them a quiz, and that keeps them very, very interested. Okay, it's multiple choice questions. Okay, it's like 15 questions I'll put, and then each one will have 4 choices, just like our exams. That actually I have found keeps the interest, and then I make them participate in the class. Okay, that's point number two. And point number three, I will also, in all the classes, I will reserve about 20 minutes to make 2 conversations pairwise. Okay, 2 students have to, and I'll tell them beforehand in the previous class. In the next class, who all have to be part of this conversation, I'll give them the topic and everything, and they have to come prepared. And each one will have to say just about 4 sentences, 3 sentences, very small, so that they become fearless. They should not have any inhibition, or they should not have any reservations, or they should not feel bad. And I keep telling them, it's okay, you make 100% mistakes, but you should be fearless in terms of speaking the Sanskrit words that should come out of your mouth. That's it. So I think that has worked extremely well, so much so that actually they waited. I had decided to take time off for the second part too, but said, please come and teach. So now I said, okay, let me teach. So I've taken up the Lahari 2, and I just started the class yesterday. So, and then I don't use slides, and and for each of the lessons, I tell them clearly upfront what is the lesson that I'm going to teach for that day. And I'll make them read the text also, whatever that we are covering, at least each one will get a chance. So that, and I can emphasize on the reading aspect of it, and the expression part of it, the pronunciation part of it, and all those. These are all simple things. So these things will make them at least interested and come back to the class, as opposed to dropping off. And I do give a lot of pep talk on the importance of it, and why we should not, people should not use excuses for not coming to the class and things. I'm very open about that. So I talk very passionately about it, and it has worked in the sense, once they have made a commitment, they have to see that they are there until the end. And what is the benefit if they are going to stay until the end of the class? Okay, everybody has problems. We all have issues. Nobody has, free life. But since all of us have a common goal and common passion of learning, these are the things that we have to do. And then some of the other things that I have learned, telling them about some of the grammatical aspects, even simple one. Every sentence that we read, one of the things that we have to imbibe is what is the grammatical structure of that sentence. How many words are there? What are they, whether pullinga, strilinga, all those little grammatical things that keeps them on. At least they'll be able to recognize this is a strilinga or a simple words, okay, and pullinga, napunsakalinga, and things like that. Some of these tricks that I have used has worked, okay. And of course, I have a lot of books, and I keep recommending all these elementary books, because that's where we have to start. For us to become very fearless and for us to become very familiar with the words, you have to buy these little, it doesn't matter whether it's, for example, Samskritam Bharati has got that elementary, I forget the name of it, 5 textbooks. And then Samskritam Bharati in Rajapalyam in Chennai, they have also published. So I keep showing them all those books, and some of them, and most of them actually have bought it. And that's very easy for them to learn. So like that, even though if it's, depending on the complexity of your class, I still talk about a lot of fundamentals. And the one...
सम्यक् विचारः भो सुरेश महोदय, सम्यक् विचारः। भवान् सावधानेन प्रयत्नं कृत्वा भवतां शिक्षकेभ्यः उत्साहमपि प्रेरणामपि दत्तवान्। सो तत्र प्रायः भवतः साहाय्यमपि अत्र आवश्यकं खलु? अत्र अनेके सन्ति अत्र तेभ्यः संस्कृतसम्भाषणे कथं सरलतया, यद्यपि सम्भाषणे दोषाः भवन्ति, तथापि सम्भाषणद्वारा एव अस्माकं ज्ञानमपि वर्धते, भयम् इत्यादि तु न्यूनी भवति। अतः प्रायः किं करणीयं भोः सन्दीप महोदय अत्र शिक्षकेभ्यः किमपि कार्यक्रमाणि आवश्यकानि खलु
शिक्षकाणां कृते कार्य एकः वर्गः आवश्यकः अस्ति तत्र वयं केवलं संस्कृतेन वदामः किमपि व्याकरणं न पाठ्यते केवलं संस्कृतेन वदामः एकं चित्रं दृष्ट्वा अस्माकं मनसि कानि वाक्यानि आगच्छन्ति के विचाराः आगच्छन्ति अत्र बहवः विचाराः सन्ति इतः संस्कृतभाषा निस्सरति वा तस्य अभ्यासं कुर्मः चिन्ता नास्ति एकं चित्रं दृष्ट्वा
प्रतिसप्ताहे एका घण्टा इत्यादि एवं वा
आदौ प्रतिसप्ताहम् एकवारं कुर्मः एकघण्टां यावत् पर्याप्तम् अत्र कति शिक्षकाः सन्ति प्रायशः 5-6 शिक्षकाः सन्ति एकघण्टा एकहोरा पर्याप्ता अस्ति
एवं वा
कुर्मः
वर्गस्य अनुभवविषयेण अपि कर्तुं शक्यते खलु महोदय वर्गस्य अनुभवः के अनुभवाः सन्ति इति अपि वयं वक्तुं शक्यते
चिन्ता नास्ति आदौ वयं परिचयं वदामः अनन्तरम् एकं लघुं सरलं विषयं स्वीकृत्य 10 वाक्यानि वदामः अधुना यथा चिन्तयतु नदी इति विषयः अस्ति नदी इति विषयं स्वीकृत्य 10 वाक्यानि वदतु अनुक्षणं वदतु अविचिन्त्य नाम यत् मनसि आगच्छति अनुधा संस्कृतेन वदतु शक्यते वा चिन्तयतु आदौ कठिनं भासते अनन्तरं शनैः यदा वयं तत् निरन्तरतया कुर्मः चेत् सुलभतया वयं वक्तुं शक्नुमः शक्यते
one other point actually what I do is I will actually say first I'll say
भवान् संस्कृते पाठयति वा सुन्दरेश महोदय आङ्ग्लभाषायां वा
संस्कृतेन पाठयति I will tell this sentence in Sanskrit but I will also explain that in English and Kannada because that makes people see what happens is a lot of people even the simple words it's not even for us it's difficult one of the reasons why people have the fear is because you cannot figure out the meaning of those words. See, Samskrita Bharati, in fact, I had a lot of discussions with a lot of people in Samskrita Bharati. Now, after 2.5 years of discussing with them, they're agreeing with me. That, 3 years ago, I mentioned, one of the reasons why people have fear is even the simple words you cannot make out because you don't know the language. So, it is very essential that you have to tell people with reference to what they already know. You speak a sentence in Sanskrit, that is fine. But you also have to explain that in English or Kannada. Then it makes them a little more comfortable. And then that fear will start going off. See, one of the biggest problems that Samskrita Bharati had is they were pushing down your throat. You have to speak in Sanskrit. I just did not agree with them. After 3 years, for 7 people have come and told me, yes, what you said, we remember what you said 3 years ago. And now they are giving a free hand to everybody. Yeah, you can talk in language which people understand.
तथा नास्ति महोदय संस्कृत भारत्यां तथा नास्ति अधुना अपि वयम् आग्रहं कुर्मः संस्कृतेन एव वदतु यत् भवान् उक्तवान् तत्तु अहं न अङ्गीकरोमि वस्तुतः संस्कृतभाषातः एव शब्दाः सन्ति कन्नड भाषायां प्रायशः 50% शब्दाः संस्कृतात् सन्ति तर्हि तथा न भवति चषकः अस्ति अत्र को क्लेशः दूरवाणी अस्ति अत्र क्लेशः अस्ति वा अवगन्तुं दूरवाणी इति पदं सर्वासु भाषासु अस्ति प्रायशः दूरवाणी अस्ति अत्र क्लेशः भवति न भवति
See, one of the emphasis is you have to start thinking in Sanskrit. That is the main emphasis.
महोदय तद् भवति प्रक्रियावशात् भवति
No, I disagree with that. A lot of people have agreed with me now because people have fear only because the simple words will not come. We have not grown up with Sanskrit. Believe me, we have not grown up with Sanskrit. Only after 40 years or 35 years of our age, we are trying to make an effort. So, if you say, you push it, if the people see...
जनाः जर्मन भाषां वदन्ति, जनाः स्पेनिश भाषां वदन्ति, बाल्यकालात् किं ते जर्मन भाषाम् अधीतवन्तः वा?
No. In every language, that is the key. For every language...
तथा न भवति। तत्र मूलं किमस्ति? पश्यतु महोदय, यदा भवान् जर्मन भाषां वक्तुम् इच्छति, यदा भवान् इच्छति, तत्र यदा बङ्गलूरे निवासं कृत्वा कठिनं भवति बर्लिन् जर्मनीं गच्छतु तत्र जर्मन भाषा तु अनुक्षणं भवान् कर्तुं शक्नोति तथैव संस्कृतस्य अस्ति अत्र संस्कृत वायुमण्डलं नास्ति अतः कठिनं भासते तद् वायुमण्डलं कथं वयं निर्माणं कुर्मः, तस्य वायुमण्डलस्य कथं निर्माणं कुर्मः, तादृशमेव वार्तां शृण्मः, आत्मना सह वयं संस्कृतं वदामः, तेन एव भवति किल.
No, I
Sundresh
agree.
Mahodaya,
I agree with
Sundresh
that
Mahodaya.
part. But initially in the learning process, you also have to help students in terms of understanding that quickly. Initially, you should always emphasize it should be in Sanskrit, but there should also be a.
अस्माकम् अनुभवः तु विपरीतः अस्ति महोदय, अस्माकम् अनुभवः विपरीतः अस्ति.
So
यदा
Sundresh
वयं
Mahodaya,
संस्कृते
Sundresh Mahodaya, यदा अहं प्रथमस्तरं पाठितवान् तदा सर्वदा भवतः विचारः सत्यमेव. तदर्थमेव I used to have all objects just packed here, right next to me. And I used to use objects only. And so, instead of speaking in English, etat aham pradarshayami. Etat lekani asti. Ityadi. That's it, lekani over. It's easier than actually using another language. Because the site gives, there is one data point. So the basic that you're talking is correct. What you're saying is right. But the basic is covered by having objects. And that is why, yes, Yat Sandeep Mahodaya, come on, online teaching becomes difficult. Online, you have to be extra creative. So I don't know how I managed all this. I used to keep my laptop there and then I used to sit far away so everybody can see everything. And then all the rupee note I used to have atra, dhanamatra, pustakam ityadi, chashaka atra, and then all the chamashaha, everything I used to have. People used to wonder, are you going to cook or not? No, I'm not going to cook. I'm going to teach. So that's what they used to ask me. So this is the trick. We have to follow this trick. And then Mahodaya, Sundresh Mahodaya. Suppose you and I want to learn German right now. You sign up with Max Muller Bhavan, okay? We pay 10,000 rupees a month and then go there. And guess what we're going to see there? That teacher will only talk in German. And you will say, aha, great university, Bhavan and all these things. And these people do exactly what we want us to do here. This is what they will do. You can speak in any language you want. They will only respond in German. You understand or not, it's your problem. And people line up, oh, great university, German is great. But the guy wants to learn German. So he will learn German. Plus, he's paying 10,000 rupees. Maybe, Sandeep Mahodaya, we should charge money. But my Swamiji will kick if I charge money. So I can't do it.
Nay Mahodaya, Atra Coimbatore Nagare Samskrita Bharati in charges AKK Mahodaya, Mohan Mahodaya, Bhaskara Mahodaya, Sarve Samskritena Vadanti Eva. Chatraha Tamil Prashnam Prichati. Parantu te kapi English mein Tamil, they never answer. They speak only. You keep on asking the question, they will speak only in Sanskrit. And in class also, they used to force us Samskritam Samskritena Paditavyam.
Mahodaya, Satyam, Mahodaya, Satyam, Satyam asti. Mahavidyalaye, yada aham patitavan engineering Mahavidyalaye, 1982-3. Tada aham ekavarshe French bhasham swikritavan. French. So tatra Mahodaya agatavan tatra. तस्य नाम इदानीम् अहं विस्मृतवान्. सः आगत्य प्रकोष्ठम् इदानीम् अन्तः आगच्छति, प्रविशति. तदा सः वदति अपि, écoutez, les oiseaux. Écoutez. Listen those birds. किञ्चित् कालानन्तरं. Like écoutez les oiseaux. So listen to the birds, how beautiful they are. Like that. Sarvada कक्षायां सर्वदा तस्य मुखात् French भाषा एव आगच्छति. That is how he got an interest in French. That's it. See, they follow it. They know the psychology very well. And so, Mahodaya, we have to rethink this thing. We have to rethink the process. There is a beauty to it. They never said, oh, it's very difficult. No student said it's very difficult. What are you saying? And I don't know. Nothing. We all started speaking in French. That's how a child learns also. But yeah, so we rather than focusing on the difficulty, you focus on the possibility. It's amazing transformation. Yeah, I thought about it. Sundresh Mahodaya, I know what you're saying. But Samskrita Bhashayam Asmakam Nipunatvam Vardhayitum Ichhamaha Chet Tatra Tivra, this direction focus must be very clear for us. That's what I also feel. So anyway, you have a method, Sundaresh
Astu.
Mahathi. I know you will use that method in your class, but Atra Vayam, we have to get together. Okay. What do you think, Narayanan? Prati Saptahe Ekavaram Melitum Shaknumah va Sarve Shikshakaah?
अवश्यम
अवश्यम
मिलामः।
विचारः महोदय, अहमपि
बहु सम्यक्,
आगन्तुम् इच्छामि, मां
बहु सम्यक्. I
संस्कृतेन
think
वक्तुम् अपि इच्छामि।
एवं करणीयं भोः.
स्वागतमस्तु सर्वेषां।
Today itself gets the time from Sandeep Mohdaya. Fix a time, 1 hour, eka ghanta, prati saptahe. Fix a time. That's convenient to all of you also. It has to be convenient to you also. किम् इति इदानीम् एव निश्चयं कुर्मः.
शनिवासरे शक्यं वा? सर्वेषां कृते सौकर्यमस्ति वा शनिवासरे?
Yeah, Saturday 9 to 10 p.m. same time.
अस्तु अस्तु, तर्हि शनिवासरे सायङ्काले स्थापयामः, चिन्ता नास्ति। सर्वेषां कृते यदा सौकर्यमस्ति चेत् शनिवासरे सायङ्काले 9 तः 10 पर्यन्तं स्वीकुर्मः।
बहवः धन्यवादाः महोदय।
9 p.m. Saturday. 9 p.m. Saturday वा?
Saturday मास्तु, शनिवासरे।
शनिवासरे कठिनमस्ति।
शक्यते वा?
9 p.m. मास्तु, 9
महोदय क्लेशः अस्ति चेत् वदतु, अधुना एव परिष्कारं कुर्मः।
मम एक कक्षा अस्ति।
कदा अस्ति कक्षा?
तदेव समये
9 वादने एव वा? तर्हि 8 तः 9 इति सौकर्यं भवति वा?
8 तः 9
अन्येषां कृते अपि अस्ति वा इति पृच्छन्तु। अस्ति चेत् कुर्मः।
अत्र इदर कैलिफोर्निया मध्ये
प्रातःकाल अस्ति।
7:30
9 अपि अहम् आगन्तुं शक्नोमि महोदय, सर्वेषां कृते अपि।
कदा आगन्तुं शक्नोति भवती?
8 तः 9 वादनपर्यन्तं।
नारायण महोदय 8 तः 9 अङ्गीक्रियते वा? अस्तु। दीता महोदय? अस्तु। रुक्मणी महोदय 8 तः 9?
आं महोदय, अहम्
अस्तु।
भवती मम सहपाठिनी आसीत् वा? रुक्मिणी महोदय, भवती मम सहपाठिनी आसीत्?
आम्, जयकुमार महोदयस्य वर्गे, प्रथमवर्गे।
सस्यं मध्ये भवती आसीत्?
आम्,
अहं स्मरामि अधुना। अस्तु अस्तु। तर्हि 8 तः 9 मिलामः, शनिवासरे कुर्मः।
अस्तु।
तत्र किमपि लेखनं नास्ति, व्याकरण अंशाः न्यूनाः एव भविष्यन्ति, केवलं सम्भाषणम् इति एव अस्माकं लक्ष्यमस्ति।
अस्तु अस्तु महोदय।
नारायण महोदय, एकः प्रश्नः अस्ति। नारायण महोदय, मम कक्षा पाठनं 8 वादने टु 9 वादने 9:30 वादने अस्ति न, शनिवासरे कथं करणीयं महोदय?
एवं वा? अस्तु। तर्हि अन्यस्मिन् दिने कुर्मः। नारायण महोदय, रविवासरे सौकर्यमस्ति वा? रविवासरे कुर्मः।
रविवासरे सौकर्यमस्ति। रविवासरे सौकर्यमस्ति
तदेव समये
रविवासरे अपि कर्तुं शक्यते।
तदेव समये।
प्रातःकाले न आगन्तुं शक्नोति सर्वे। प्रातःकाले किमपि सम्भवं नास्ति?
प्रातःकाले
किञ्चित् कठिनः अस्ति। न, चिन्ता नास्ति महोदय, सायङ्काले अपि सम्यक् अस्ति।
सायङ्काले, रविवासरे सायङ्काले 8 तः 9?
तदेव समये।
अस्तु, 8 तः 9 रविवासरे कुर्मः। सम्यक्, मिलामः तत्र।
रविवासरे 8 वादने मम वर्गः अस्ति, भगवद्गीता पारायणवर्गः।
चिन्ता नास्ति, तर्हि अन्यं समये चिन्ता नास्ति, कुर्मः। नारायण महोदय सूचयतु। 9 तः 10?
मम कक्षा अस्ति, अष्टाध्यायी।
न, रविवासरे अपि अस्ति वा कक्षा? अयि भो, न भवती छात्ररूपेण गच्छति कक्षां वा शिक्षिकारूपेण गच्छति?
छात्रा एव।
सप्तवादने, रविवासरे 7 वादने सम्यक् वा?
7 वादने
मम कृते सम्यक् अस्ति।
मम कृते अपि सम्यक् अस्ति।
7 वादने अस्तु। अत्र
रुक्मिणी महोदय
7:00 अष्टवादने पर्यन्तं कुर्मः
रविवासरे
महोदय।
8:00
कठोपनिषद् अभ्यासवर्गे अस्ति वा?
कठोपनिषद् अभ्यासवर्गः अस्ति।
अभ्यासवर्गः
मीरा
बहवः क्लेशः।
I thought Saturday and I was talking about Sunday.
तर्हि
Saturday
एकं
also.
कुर्मः वा रविवासरे प्रातःकाले स्वीकुर्मः वा सर्वेषां कृते कथमस्ति?
आम्
कति वादने महोदय?
कति वादने न वक्तव्यं, कदा इति वक्तव्यं।
कदा
कति वादने कदा
क्षम्यतां
हा।
क्षम्यतां
कति वादने इति
रविवासरे
प्रादेशिकभाषायाः प्रभावः अस्ति। अस्तु कदा कदा मिलामः? रविवासरे 7:00 8:00 सौकर्यमस्ति वा? प्रातःकाले
प्रातःकाले 7:00
8:00 9 करोतु, चिन्ता नास्ति, वदतु।
अत्र किमपि
रुक्मिणी महोदय, भवत्
अत्र पश्यन् अस्मि, किमपि रविवासरे अत्र किमपि कक्षा नास्ति।
प्रातःकाले बहु कष्टं।
क्लिष्टम्।
आम्।
किम् उत्थाय कष्टमस्ति वा कार्याणि सन्ति?
रात्रे सायङ्काले सम्यक् अस्ति।
रविवासरे सायङ्काले 8:30 सम्यक् भवति।
न तस्या कक्षा अस्ति किल रुक्मिणी महोदय?
सायङ्काले
ते अपि
आं तस्याः भगवद्गीता कक्षा अस्ति, सा पाठयति अस्ति। आम्।
तर्हि
सोमवासरे शुक्रवासरपर्यन्त किमपि
शक्यं चेत् सप्ताहान्ते एव स्थापयामः, यतोहि मम अपि प्रवासः अस्ति किल। तर्हि सोमतः शुक्रवासरपर्यन्तं त्यजामः यावत् शक्यं, नो चेत्
अस्तु अस्तु
नो चेत् रात्रौ स्थापयामः। तर्हि चिन्तयन्तु कथं करणे, कदा कक्षा स्वीकरणीया इति चिन्तयन्तु।
रुक्मिणी भगिनी, तत्र भगवद्गीता कक्षां किमपि समयपरिवर्तनं कर्तुं शक्यते वा? सार्धघण्टा उपरि यथा
प्रयत्नं करोमि महोदय। अहं
कदा आरभ्यते तत् 8:00 वा?
8:00तः 9:00
पर्यन्तम्।
शनिवासरे मम कक्षायाः समयः परिवर्तनं कर्तुं शक्यते वा?
कर्तुं शक्यते। यदा यदा कक्षा आरभ्यते तदा सर्वैः मिलित्वा चर्चां कृत्वा आरब्धुं परिवर्तनं कर्तुं शक्यते खलु नारायण महोदय?
शक्यते महोदय। शुक्रवासरे करणीयं
एकम्
वा?
एव विद्यार्थी US नगरात् अस्ति। सर्वे भारतदेशात् सन्ति, चेन्नै, हैदराबाद, मुम्बै। सो अहं चिन्तयामि मम कक्षायाः समये यदि परिवर्तनं भवति तत् समस्यायाः समाधानम् अस्ति तत्र शनिवासरे।
आम्, परिवर्तनं कुर्मः चेत् शनिवासरे 8:00 शिक्षकवर्गः भवितुं शक्यं खलु?
आम्।
प्रातःकाले
शनिवासरे
मम कक्षायाः यदि समयः परिवर्तनं भवति शनिवासरे प्रातःकाले अथवा पूर्वाह्ने
प्रातःकाले नास्ति महोदय, because the way we have designed is batch 1 is in the morning, batch 2 is in the evening. So you can change the day of the week, not the time. You can't shift it to morning.
अस्तु।
So can she shift it to Sunday, Narayan Mahodaya?
Yeah, that option is there. She can shift it to Sunday, she can shift it to Friday.
Oh, Friday evening, Sunday evening ityadi. Okay.
Any evening, 8 p.m. any day. I mean, Friday, Saturday, Sunday you can shift.
preferably weekends, because people would have chosen weekend for a reason.
No. Because we have 2 batches. No, they will attend on Tuesday and Saturday, Sunday.
What if the batch starts and then I directly ask to the students if they come, if they are able to attend the class in the first half?
You decide. Mother, you decide whether you want to shift. We can communicate to
Yeah.
the students because they're anyway coming Tuesday evening, 8 p.m. The same students will come again as of now, Saturday evening, 8 p.m. because Sasyam is 2 sessions a week.
Namohade, my point of view was Thursday I'll be having Kamalam class, then Saturday this class. If Saturday Sambhashanam prati upyuktah asti, then I was willing to shift to the morning session, Saturday, Sunday.
Morning you can't.
Morning or mid-noon, somewhere.
No,
Not
don't do
possible.
that because the students have signed up for 8 p.m.
Okay.
Yeah, so you have an option because Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday you can't do because there is 2 sessions a week, no? So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, if you want, you can change.
Asti. What suits to everybody? I am ready to change. If
So you
any
want to
is
shift it to Sunday because Rukmini Mohodaya's class is on Sunday morning. Her batch is Sunday morning. You can do Sunday evening, not a problem.
okay.
शनिवासरे सार्धषड्वादने सायङ्काले
For
Oh,
Sambhashanam,
what is
Guruji.
अत्र शिक्षकवर्गः
Shiksha can be Sambhashanam.
शनिवासरे सम्यक् अस्ति
शनिवासरे
सार्धषड्वादने
आम् आम्
हा अस्तु अत्र षड्वादने प्रातःकाले भवति
आम् आम् कालिफोर्निया राज्ये आम् so maybe we should do that 6th what about Sandeep Mahodaya शनिवासरे सायङ्काले सार्धषड्वादने
अस्तु कुर्मः
सार्धषड्वादनतः सार्धसप्तवादनपर्यन्तम्
एकघण्टा
शक्यते
because that way Rita doesn't have to change her time because we want to minimize that also because we can't assume the students may just dissipate. They said no, any other day is not possible.
अस्तु
मीरा अस्माकं भगवद्गीता अभ्यासवर्गः अस्ति खलु शनिवासरे 7:00 8:00 भगवद्गीता अभ्यासवर्गः अस्ति खलु
आम् आम्
तत् परिवर्तनं कर्तुं शक्यते वा
अष्टवादन आरभ्यते खलु तत् सप्तवादनं वा
सप्तवादने आरम्भ्यते
maybe you have to push it to 8 o'clock
no 8 8 somebody had a problem Rukmini ji had a problem no Saturday 8
Yeah, Saturday 8 I was having Bhagavad Gita. Now I have shifted because some people are working on Saturday also. So my Bhagavad Gita class has been shifted from Saturday to Sunday 8 to 9.
So 8 to 9, what is the problem on Saturday?
Saturday I have no problem. But 7 to 8 we have Bhagavad Gita Abhyasa Varga.
That is okay. 8 to 9 we can do, no?
8 to Saturday I have no problem. 8 to 9.
मास्तु रीता रीता भगिन्याः
रीता महोदय कक्षा भवति न
Oh yeah.
Sasyam.
तदेव
So Bhagavad Gita Abhyasa Varga can be shifted to 8 p.m.
yes
That can be a good idea.
अभ्यास वर्ग
Yeah, that we can shift. Maybe we
Correct.
can put it in the group.
That will be good. That will be good.
तस्य परिवर्तनं करणीयम्
गुरुजी अहं बहिः
शक्यते खलु?
गच्छामि अपि इदानीं बहिः गच्छामि
भवती सर्वदा बहिः एव अस्ति गच्छतु गच्छतु
सुन्दरकाण्डपारायण गच्छामि मन्दिरं गच्छामि
सम्यक् सम्यक् अस्तु सम्यक् भोः
So Shanivasare
ग्रूप् मध्ये स्थापयतु किमपि
सार्धषड्वादने
शनिवासरे 6:30 किल
हाँ।
6:30 7:30 शनिवासरे अस्तु मिलामः तर्हि
नारायण महोदय सस्यं वर्गस्य टाइम टेबल कृतवान् वा I have not seen Sasyam this year. You have allotted teachers and students.
Mहोदय I just show you.
Okay. Actually,
रीता भगिनी एवं चेत् भवत्याः इदानीं कक्षा तु 8:00 आरभ्यते खलु
Sasyam.
Ataha, so you have to be ready for the
Sunday
class before 6:30,
Okay, batch 1.
right?
So,
You have to be ready for the class. You should think that your class is at 6:30 instead of 8 o'clock. Because
6:30.
1 hour will be spent on this class.
Mm.
Correct?
Okay.
Yeah, that
Mentally,
is slightly difficult because I would like to prepare for my class, but न जानामि किञ्चित् कथं भविष्यति.
Vartalapam will give you a good momentum to continue.
But my subject, throwing the subject is more important to me, but I don't know how to solve this. So aham स्वीकरोमि.
So,
so the Evam Chet, that 1.5 hours before, because it's starting. And so, I don't know if you can say, no, my class is starting at 6:30. Prepare for the class as though your class is starting at 6:30. Mentally, you have to decide that. My class is at 6:30. You have to mentally tell yourself. Every week, my class is at 6:30. Like that, you have to mentally tell yourself. Then it's the same time. I mean, you have the same time in the week, but you have to stop your preparation by 6:30. Correct?
Mahodaya, we start for 2 days before, you know.
Good. So for you, it's very easy. But for Rita, it's the first time. So Praya, Rukmini Bhaginiya Saha Sambhashanam Karotu, Rita Bhagini. Katham
Avashya.
Karaniya.
yeah,
चिन्ता
actually, that's
मास्तु रेता भगिनी भवती सम्यक् करोति. प्रथम किञ्चित् क्लेशः अस्ति चेत् भवती एव सर्वं सम्यक् कर्तुं प्रयत्नं करोति.
इदानीं किञ्चित् विश्वासः नास्ति. तत् कारणेन बहु प्रिपरेशन् एण्ड् प्रयासः आवश्यकं मम
चिन्ता
कृते.
मास्तु.
चिन्ता
So
नास्ति.
once you start to get into the class, you will gain the momentum and you will know how to go about it.
we will have separate Sasyam
Rita
teachers.
Bhagini will be Uttama Shikshika. I am very sure. She is very
Sorry?
good at it. Rita Bhagini will be Uttama Shikshika very
Yes.
soon. I am very
Yes,
confident.
yes.
She is very good at it.
धन्यवादः for शुभेच्छा.
भोः कदा वर्गाः कदा आरभ्यन्ते?
July first week.
फस्ट् वीक्. इतो समयः अस्ति. अद्य तु 15 दिनाङ्कः एव. अतः definitely 2-3 classes शिक्षक classes will be there.
We will
So by
have
then,
separate Sasyam teachers separate. We'll have a separate meeting.
शक्यते.
तर्हि अग्रिमे शनिवासरे मिलामः किल?
अस्तु. आम् आम्.
So Mahodaya, so what we decided then, Narayan Mahodaya, today, first of all, number of registrations are significantly lower than last year.
Only
And all
Malti.
years.
Malti, significant.
Yeah. So Purvam to 250, 300 or all we used to have, we had to stop the registration and all. And now it has reduced. As I mentioned, suspected this happened. So we did not getting enough registrations. And so
another reason for that, Guruji, is now work from home is more or less dead.
more or less?
Dead. Everybody is now work from
People
office
have
only.
to go to office.
Ah.
So
That
therefore,
period was COVID period, no? That's why registrations had peaked.
No, work from home more or less is not there. Most organizations, I would say at least 60, 70, 80% organizations are work from office only.
oh. Okay. So therefore, the student retention is going to be even more important. If there are only 5 students, then we have to really get better at it. It's in a way, it's a good smaller class. So
We had the
love to-
similar numbers last year also.
of
Last year, Sasyam also, we had close to about 5 batches, 5 into about 50, 60 students were there. Now I think we have got about 20, 30.
Samyak. So that's one thing. So then another thing is this teachers Shikshaka Vargaha will be important. Initially, we start every week. Then Sandeep can decide, Mahodaya can decide how to take it forward. And
Then we can maybe do it once a fortnight. It depends on how the progress is. We can do that, yes.
anything else, Narayan Mahodaya, for teachers, etc. We'll have a separate orientation with all students another time, right? 2-3 weeks from now.
Student orientation will be separate. What we'll have next is for the new teachers or anybody who wants to know how to do the teaching using online technology, that we'll have an orientation. Like Hemavati ji had a problem saying, how do I use Zoom? Or Srita Mahodaya wants to know. So we'll have a separate orientation for that as to how to deliver. The other thing which you can...
Sandeep Mahodaya, that session, it's a सः वर्गः इदानीं भविष्यति शिक्षकेभ्यः यन्त्र उपयोग साधनं कथं करणीयम् इति, basics of Zoom and things like that, and how to have a proper computer in front of you. Audio must be proper, video must be proper. These things we have to work on it before itself, so that our class can run smoothly, communication can happen. So that training will happen. I think Narayan ji is going to do it. And then what else?
So then we'll have one orientation for the students, especially for Sasyam students. Now others may not need it. Or the new students will need how to use Google Classroom, how to upload, how to look at class notes, where to get resources, all that.
So you're talking about orientation for students.
Yeah, that will happen once the classes start.
So, but have you fixed the date for it?
Not yet.
Okay, so that means better fix the date now and inform everybody it's going to happen that day. So that because it's going to be 70 plus students, 80 or 90 students, right? Whoever wants to come can come for all students, right?
Because we have formally not communicated to the students of acceptance of registration yet. I'd start doing that. All will start after 20th because registrations close on 20th.
Oh.
So I have a lot of other background work because Zoom rooms have to get allocated, classrooms have to get created, WhatsApp groups have to get created. Everybody has to go into those slots. Invitations have to be sent. People have to join the groups. So there's a lot of work there.
So we have to ask for some volunteers, Mahodaya. You do one thing. Let me first.
Registrations close, then we'll start inviting the people. For Sambhashanam and Bhagavad Gita, we'll start early because Bhagavad Gita, you want the students should join by 24th as per your plan.
Right.
So for Bhagavad Gita registration, I will stop sometime by Tuesday, Wednesday. I mean, we can continue to have people coming in later, but for me to do that batch processing, I will have to halt it for the time being. And once the batch processing is done, we can have people join in later.
Okay. Awesome.
So Bhagavad Gita and Sambhashana will start early. The others will start after June 20th.
Awesome. Let's do that. So this session was good, no? It was useful for everybody.
Yes.
Definitely. Yes, Guruji.
Very useful. Good conversation.
Thank you. It's been recorded. So Narayan Mahodaya, see if you can, if other teachers might find it useful or not. And definitely announce the date right away. So we're going to have a teachers weekly class, etc.
Starting next week.
Yeah. धन्यवादः संदीप महोदय.
अस्तु मिलामः. धन्यवादाः सर्वेभ्यः.
सर्वेभ्यः धन्यवादाः.
धन्यवादः.
पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ओम शांति शांति शांति. हरिः ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः. हरिः ओम.
नमस्ते गुरुजी. हरिः ओम.